Imagine one selected day struck out of your life and think how different its course would have been.
There are so many people crying all over my For You page, all because of this new show called OneDay. And as I love a good emotional romance, I figured this seems like a show I would enjoy, so I decided that I would watch it, destroy my own soul, so you don't have to.
Do you think we're rushing into this?
Here's your warning now for spoilers up ahead. The story is centered around two main characters, Dexter and Emma. They first meet on graduation night, and despite a bit of romantic tension, they decide to remain friends. The story takes place over 20 years, told in a snapshot form, where we catch up with the leads every year on the 15th of July, St. Swithin's Day. We see their love simmer quietly between them in the background, as it grows and even breaks. It's a story about friendship and love, and how life is unpredictable. Aside from everyone sharing their tears online, I noticed there were two main takeaways about Emma and Dex's relationship. The first is that Dex and Emma are examples of a backburner relationship, and the second is that they are examples of the right person, wrong time trope.
Dexter, because I've met someone else and because I'm not just something you can resort to when every other option has been exhausted.
Looking at this first one, it's definitely plausible. We have two people constantly contemplating what if, without really doing anything about it. You could argue it is an example of a backburner relationship, which is when one or both individuals in a romantic partnership keeps another person in their life as a potential backup or reserve option, often while actively pursuing or maintaining a primary relationship with someone else. This is more clearly seen through Dex, who strings along Emma's unrequited crush and simultaneously not committing to a serious relationship of his own. Being someone's backup is incredibly painful, particularly if you harbor feelings for someone who's clearly as emotionally unavailable as Dex was in his early 20s. Even with their strong connection, it's even the first thing Emma mentions when Dex finally confesses his feelings. It's not exactly a great sign of trust or security to feel like a second option when someone tells you that they love you. You could also argue that Dex and Emma showcase signs of struggle love, which is where one partner endures multiple hardships, unhealthy and toxic behavior at the hands of another, in the hope that they'll be rewarded with the love and affection of their partner once their loyalty has been tested. Let's apply this to OneDay, with the more cynical lens of struggle love. For the first half of this show, Dex is not a romantic interest to root for. Dex can be seen as testing Emma's loyalty and love for him. He always expects her to be there for him and enjoys her unrequited love for him. When his whole life goes up in flames, he resorts to Emma, the final option, the fallback, that was never an option before. Now, I don't fully subscribe to this take. Yes, he's not the most likable for the longest time, but I do believe there was a genuine friendship between them. But despite the fact that they care for one another, their relationship dynamics aren't entirely healthy. Emma isn't entirely a good friend either. For example, she can be quite rude, disguising insults with sarcastic jokes, which sometimes hurt Dex. It's obvious their biggest flaw is miscommunication. Take this scene where Emma admits she used to, though obviously still has, a crush on Dex. He plays it off as a joke, and she reciprocates with an insulting one. It's clear both of them are hurt by the other. Rather than them choosing to set boundaries and talk, they choose to ignore the cracks in their relationship, leading to it completely breaking later. Are there also elements of a backburner relationship? I would say yes, and it definitely did cause some emotional distress. But while I do think their relationship is flawed, I don't think either of them intend to hurt the other. Miscommunication isn't my favorite trope in romance, but it's a very oddly human trait. It's easy to just scream at your screen, just say you love each other. But in reality, I don't think most people truly say how they feel. Those big romantic grand gestures and confessions just aren't in reality.
We grew up together. I liked that.
The second take I saw is that they are an example of the right person, wrong time trope. This is the idea that two people are right for each other, but are victims of circumstance and thus can't be together. In Dex's case, it's his arrogance. He drifts through life and is struggling with addiction, which is incredibly hard on yourself and those you love around you. In Emma's case, it's her lack of self-confidence and self-worth. They're constantly wanting different things, which aren't compatible with one another. Their circumstances are preventing them from getting together, in accordance with this trope. It takes time for both of them to mature, and by building a foundation of unconditional love through friendship, they finally take the step to be together when they're ready. They reach the right time. Now, I also don't personally buy into this trope. Right person, wrong time implies there's a right time. And this may be naive of me, and it might not be true in all cases, but I think if you're meant to be with someone, if they are the right person, there wouldn't be a wrong time, because the right person will always come at the right time. In Dex and Emma's case, they were not the right person for one another for the majority of the show. In their youth, I think Emma's in love with the idea of Dex more than him, a crush which develops into unrequited love. And Dex loves Emma, but doesn't want a serious relationship. They are completely incompatible. It's more of a case of wrong person, wrong time. If they were compatible, they would have gotten together earlier. We also change so much throughout our lifetime, and as we age and mature, we grow to know what we want. I argue that by the time they actually get together, they're completely different people to who they were in their 20s. And it's when they're finally able to overcome their miscommunication. As a hopeless romantic myself, I would love to believe in the idea of two people who are meant to be, but I think this idea is a dramatized version of love that isn't rooted in reality.
I just thought I finally got rid of you.
I don't think you can.
These concepts I mentioned all aren't healthy forms of love. In fact, reducing a love story to these romantic tropes found in film, TV, and books isn't a true reflection of what real love looks like. They showcase examples of hyperreal love. Jean Baudrillard theorizes that in a postmodern world, we engage more with hyperreality than reality. To explain hyperreality, let's look at the genre of historical films and TV shows. I'm going to use Chernobyl as an example. Everything about this show, from the sets to the music with a Geiger counter in the background, everything is meant to feel as real as possible. It starts to feel more real than the actual historical event itself. Our understanding of Chernobyl will come from news articles detailing what happened, a filtered understanding of events. But most of us don't have a first-hand experience of what actually happened. If asked to picture what happened at Chernobyl, we'll most likely think of clips of the show. The imitation starts to feel more real than reality, or hyperreal. According to Baudrillard, our postmodern society has become one made up entirely of representations. We live in a realm of hyperreality, a media-saturated society in which we are unable to distinguish reality from its simulation. So, taking this back to the romance genre, the hyperreal image of love in cinema was originally intended to reflect the reality of love. But as more and more films were created, new films began taking inspiration from the ones that come before, and we start interacting more with hyperreal images of love. Gestures of love become grander and bigger. Something as simple as I love you turns into a grand declaration or gesture, running through the airport, kissing in the rain, standing outside with a boombox. Edgar Morin believes that because of hyperreality in film, our tenuous grasp of anything real that exists outside this ubiquitous realm of simulation has been eroded by our unending consumption of these contrived images. According to Morin, we are being sold a manufactured version of love through these images of romance in cinema. This can make it difficult to understand how to form romantic bonds in reality, because we start molding our relationships to fit into these imaginary cinematic archetypes or tropes. Take the grumpy sunshine trope, for example, or in OneDay's case, right person, wrong time. I think it's reasonable to say that most people are able to separate fictional romance from real life. But we are also in a time where on social media, everyone posts a filtered version of their lives and their relationships. But we don't get to see the ugly parts, nor the conflict. Relationships on social media also don't reflect reality. I think OneDay is an example of hyperreal love, but in some ways, it's also a subversion. It's hyperreal as it plays into the classic romantic tropes, and it is a dramatized version of love. It is a TV show, you can't escape that too much. But OneDay is a very human love story. It subverts the hyperreal because there are no big grand gestures, no massive declarations of love. The moment they finally begin a relationship, it was as simple as Dex saying he loves Emma, her saying no, and then Emma changing her mind. And there's something very human in that. So let me leave you with this. Don't apply these tropes to real life. Don't make hyperreal love your reality. Don't put your life on hold waiting for one person, hoping that one day, when it's the right time, they'll love you back. Love isn't a tragedy. It shouldn't be something to be mourned. And while I do enjoy a tragic love story in film, love shouldn't be the center of your life story. I like to see that final scene in OneDay as a reminder. It wasn't just a beautiful recap of their time and their relationship. We see that in Dex, as while he's grieving, he realizes there's still so much time left, and he chooses to focus on his daughter. Emma and Dex's love story isn't a footnote, but it was only a chapter in their lives. I think it's also a reminder that one decision can change your whole life. That maybe if we were a little braver, that everything would have been different. It's like the multiverse, but make it romantic.
It won't always be like this.
Why wouldn't it? I was going to change it.
Time.
Living a life with the weight of an unrequited love isn't living, and having gone through it myself, it just brings you pain. Your life story isn't the footnote to your love story. OneDay is a relationship held back by miscommunication. It's also about the privilege of time. Sometimes we have it in abundance, and sometimes we don't. But I truly think with the ones we love most, it will never seem like we have enough time.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
There are people you're going to love, and people you're going to lose. The tragedy of life is loving someone, knowing one day you may lose them.